What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. This is the finale of Season 4 of F1 2020 Career Mode My Team, and as the title and thumbnail suggests, this is the last race for Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes. He announced his retirement this season, and with his current future up in the air in real life as well, this could be, and there's a small chance, this could be the last time I ever race against Lewis Hamilton in a career mode setting. Which is kind of, it makes me a bit emotional actually, because I felt like he's always been there. And same with Vettel. I think I'd be very emotional when he retires from the sport as well. F1 just won't be the same. But let's hope that those two can stick around in F1 and the games for a long time to come. Anyway, let's get into the topic at discussion. The finale, addressing all the adaptations for next season. Hopefully do a better job of what we did heading into the winter break this time last year. But you never know. This one was really sprung upon us. Last episode, actually, that the durability components were all going to be reset unless we adapted them to the future regulations. So that's been a bit stressful, trying to just work on those and get them on the car. But we head into qualifying the race with nothing to worry about, essentially, in terms of an engine standpoint. We took penalties last race, and you know what, for this race, I'm just going to leave the best engine in the whole weekend for practice. Column 4, it's going to be fine. Running the best engine in practice, it's not going to take any wear out of it, given it's brand new as well. So there will be no grid penalties for me today, so you guys don't need to scream at your phone or computer or whatever. But for what's at stake today, we could get P6 in the standings. It's possible if we get a win or a P2, fastest lap, something like that, and Danny Kvyat doesn't get many points, we can overhaul him in the standings. So that's going to be the aim. We could possibly get Ferrari and McLaren as well in the constructors. I think we'd be very lucky to get one, but it might be near on impossible to get both of them, to get P5 in the constructors. We're going to need a big points haul from myself and from Callum this weekend, so you never know. But we're going to head into Friday practice now for the Brazilian Grand Prix. This is the finale of the season. For those of you who haven't been tuning in, running a reduced season in career mode from here on out. 21 races or however long it is too long of a season, and we cut out and rotate through the season doing different races. Like next season I'm going to do different races what I did this year, and yeah, it means that we can flow through more seasons and not waste too much time. But Friday practice was pretty good, even though the timing doesn't suggest it. We got 14th in the end. We did a race run in that series of laps, and we didn't show our true pace. However, in practice 2 though, we did do a qualifying run, and in the end we were only 0.3 off the pace setters of the Red Bull. So that was nice to see. A good haul of resource points, which is going to be absolutely crucial in our quest to consolidate the components for next season. But that is the no pressure segment of the weekend done and dusted. We now head into qualifying and the race. Hopefully this time we can actually have some good qualifying position, because we've had none of that in the last few episodes. Wish me luck. So here we are then for qualifying for the Brazilian Grand Prix. I didn't really mention this in the intro, but if you're new to my channel, you probably won't know that this place has a lot of history for me. From career modes gone by in previous seasons, this is a very good track for me, competitive-wise. Not so much in the last few years of the F1 game. Don't know what it is, but I seem to be not as fast these days. But let's hope that we can buck that trend. Maybe it's an AI thing around here. I'm not too sure. I haven't done many league races here either to really benchmark myself anymore at this place. But I would love to win. I would love to sign off on a win and really surprise a few people in this round of the championship. I kind of knew a good result was on the cards for Mexico, but this one not so much. Callum Ilott, though, is proving his worth. P1 provisionally in this qualifying session. I'm down in P12. It's some 7/10 off my teammate. So I don't know where Callum has pulled that lap out of the bag, but he is truly showing the way at Marduk Motorsport. He had to go and showcase his pace in qualifying when it's too late for me to peep his setup and change a few things, but that is absolutely remarkable. I took a bit of a risk as well, by the way, on my banker lap. It wasn't the best. I decided to fast forward time, and it was just good enough to get me through to the next session by literally a 10th. Move on to Q2, and that time is what gave me P12. I did that on a used set of tires from the last session. So that's fine. We're going to go out again at the end of Q2 on a brand new set, and we're going to really showcase our speed. Meanwhile, Jeff was just saying that rain is on the way in about 10 to 15 minutes time, which is rather concerning. So Q3 could be very interesting when we get into there, or if we get into there, rather. But off we go. We've left enough time to do 2 laps in this run. Brazil is such a short lap time, and so little fuel is required. You can get away with doing 2 laps and not really take too much life out of the tires. First lap is not good enough for Q3. We're 800ths shy of Antoine Hubert in the racing point, so we need to go again. And it's a good thing that I was poised and ready to mentally psych myself up to do another lap. And sometimes when I complete a lap, I just like let off the throttle and just relax. But good thing I didn't settle into that bad habit, and we're able to press on for another lap. We're 800ths up, nearly a 10th up as we run through the middle sector now, through the double right-hander. We're running 4.7... No. We were running 2.6 wings. We're running 3.7 wings now, with the option to maybe switch that back down to 2.7 wings just for extra stability. I think there's just something a little bit amiss with the setup, but you know, that's no excuse. We are 3.5 tenths up, nearly 4 tenths up as we go through pretty much the last corner, using all the entrance space on the right-hand side. The grass there is actually just as grippy as the road. That's one for you guys. The esports drivers like to use that one. Across the line, we go and improve by 3.5 tenths. Is it good enough for Q3, though? You better bloody hope it is. It's not! It's only 14th place in this qualifying session. And somehow, we are knocked out in Q2. Callum Ilott, with all the pace in the world in the opening qualifying session, 15th. 15th. What has gone on there? Honestly, I don't know what's gone on there. We improved by 3.5 tenths. We went into the 4s at Brazil, and we are not in Q3. That is absolutely outrageous. Possibly some AI simulation time glitch has happened there. Either way, we're in 14th. We've got the free choice of tyre for the race. I think we'll be a lot faster in the race. I think we've kind of been glitched out of that session, if I'm brutally honest. Let's move on to the race, and let's salvage this.
Formula One returns to Sao Paulo once again, with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Brazilian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his 3rd championship here in 2012, and in 2016, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Now, can I get your take on Max Verstappen? What a season! Well-deserved championship victory, and the pressure now surely off, with the title already in the bag.
I agree, it's been a truly impressive season, but championship or no, I don't think they'll be gently cruising around to the finish line. In fact, with points no longer a concern, there's a lot less to risk, so we may even see a more aggressive approach.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Alexander Albon will lead us away from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Bottas, George Russell and Hamilton, Sainz, Gasly, Ocon and Daniel Kvyat, Stroll, Day, Callum Ilott and Hubert. Magnussen, Ricciardo, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Antonio Giovinazzi and Lando Norris, Latifi, Schumacher, Matsushita and Nick de Vries.
It's been a long season, but let's try to end it on a high note.
I think we can do just that. I think our qualifying position is completely unjust to where I think our natural pace is this weekend, so we'll wait and see. But we've been elevated to P12 by virtue of Ricciardo and Norris's grid penalties, so it puts us a little bit closer to touching distance of the top 10. Ocon and Kvyat on the harder compound of tyre, so that'll be ones to watch out for later in the Grand Prix. For me, though, I was really split on the strategy. I can run the two softer compound tyres, but for a long time now, I've kind of edited out how long I was waiting here and thinking about things, but I was nearly going to go with the soft medium strategy. In the end, I'm going to start on mediums and I'm going to finish on softs, and we're going to showcase our pace towards the end of the Grand Prix. Overtaking, I think, is going to be pretty difficult with a lot of slipstream trains, DRS trains, etc. But as long as we can stay within the DRS of the leaders ahead, then I think good things will come to us. 5 red lights, and away we go for the season finale of My Team Career Mode of Season 4. And as bloody always, it's not been a good start. Callum Ilott nearly getting me down into Zone 1. We dive on up the inside of Stroll and Kvyat. In the end, we lose our positions to both of those guys, but we managed to get back past Ilott. Only temporarily, he's back past me again. So, two teammates trading positions. Left, right, and center, and unfortunately, that little exchange has really cost Ilott a position, which is the last thing that I wanted, being his last race of the team as well. You know, I'm 99% sure this will be his last race of the team. We do want to sign a certain Australian to the team as we go up the inside of Danny Kvyat. That was a bold move up the inside. But I targeted that move early because I think overtakes might be harder to come by a little later on, especially for Kvyat, who's on hard compound tyres and will phase into the race really nicely. So I was very impatient with him. I identified him as a key target early on because an AlphaTauri is a very fast car. And so to get that early scalp is going to be massive for us in this race. Ideally, we need to get in front of Ocon as well, and then we'll be in a really good position in this race. So that's the important one. But before we get to Ocon, we've got to overtake Stroll. But yeah, back to the point earlier, I really wanted Callum to actually follow me through and have a good race. He's got a good car, but he's buried in traffic in a lot of these races. That was the same case for Hamilton as well. Like, the GOAT in an okay car can barely do anything when he's trapped in traffic. And that's just been the plague of my teammates this season. Hopefully next season with a slightly better car, that won't be an issue. But we just need to qualify better. We don't have the qualifying-esque upgrades that'll do work for us. We have things that'll really help us in the race, like our fuel consumption is pretty good in this car. It always has been. Haven't really talked about that. But tyre wear upgrades are getting on a little bit in our car as well, and it's certainly helping. So yeah, let's see if we can do what we can in this race. Ultimately, the goal, I think, is a top 5 in this race, maybe even a podium if we're really lucky. But that all depends on how much progress we can make on this tyre. And it looks like progress has come to a grinding halt as we're stuck behind Esteban Ocon on the medium compound tyres. Look at the air gap that's forming to P8 in this race. The leaders in the top 8 on soft compound tyres are just running away with this race. And I'm caught in a stalemate with Lance Stroll. He's getting DRS and slipstream off of Ocon, and I just can't do anything. I can't get past this guy. I've been stuck behind him since lap 2 or whatever it is. And I just don't have the straight line speed to get close in a braking zone to dive bomb him. So what I'm doing about now is I'm trying to unleash the pace in different areas of the track. So I'm doing my best to get as close to him in the middle sector so that I can dive bomb him or just try and break him away from Ocon. It will get easier as this race goes on because Stroll's tyres are going to go off quicker than mine. But we can't afford to be stuck behind him for half the race, whatever it is. We've been stuck behind him for nearly a third of the race already. As we get an update on the team radio, just seeing what the pit stop situation is like for him. Of course, he's doing a 1-stop, but I was thinking maybe if he's going to do a 2-stop, I won't need to overtake him, but that is definitely not the case. We need to get past him now. We're losing too much time to the race leaders. That's already a huge gap, and this is proving to be quite detrimental to our race. You can see we are pretty close now in the middle sector. We're right on his gearbox. Unfortunately, not a great exit for me there. Means I can't dive bomb him here into this corner, but maybe a bit of Rich, a bit of overtake into the last corner, which is right here. And we might have a little go with him. This is a little attempt to try and separate him from Ocon. And that little half move has actually turned into a full-blown one. And we're now in the points in this Brazilian Grand Prix. So there we go. That was literally just a diversion tactic to get him away from Ocon so that he could be isolated and not have DRS. But in the end, it gained me the position straight away. So that was crucial. Absolutely crucial for us in this race, because now we can have a go at Ocon. I feel like I've been held up this whole first stint. It's weird. It's quite realistic, actually, to real life. The dirty air really was holding me back. I didn't have the straight line speed because of the double DRS Stroll was getting, the DRS Stroll was getting, whatever. But once I get in front of Ocon, I feel like I've got more pace to give. And I feel like I can start catching up to the lead guys, as we had a little think about a dive bomb into turn 1. In the end, I thought better of it. I thought I'd just have a bit of a settler, and then we'll go again. But anyway, the leaders are in now, so I guess that move on Stroll was all in vain, maybe. He has stayed out still, so no, it wasn't in vain. We're going to go on the inside of Ocon now into turn 1, and that gives us P4, but effective P9 in this race. So that was absolutely crucial for us, and now we can utilize the pace, or whatever's left, of this medium compound tire. There's the move done and dusted up the inside. The Renault is one of the fastest cars in a straight line, and that's how this stalemate kind of emerged this whole time. It's just Ocon was very, very hard to overtake for Stroll, and I couldn't get past Stroll because Stroll had DRS, and it was just a bit of a nightmare, really. But we've cleared him, and now we can push on in this race. Meanwhile, Stroll has still stayed out on his soft compound tyres. Same too with Hubert. The race leaders on their softs came in many laps ago now, so I'm thinking that maybe the Racing Point guys have maximum tyre wear upgrades applied, because they're going really deep into this race, and I dare say they'll probably go on to mediums to finish off this race, given the depth that they're going to in this one. But all the leaders who stopped on softs have all gone to hards, and this is going to be a big opportunity for us, because we could still run at a competitive pace, even now with our old tyres relative to the leaders on their hards. So this is a time where we can really buy ourselves some, I don't know, some track position later by being somewhat close to them and having a massive tyre delta towards the end. So here we go. We're coming in now for our soft compound tyres, the final 16 laps of this Brazilian Grand Prix, and it's all going to come down to my effectiveness of overtaking in the DRS train. This is kind of reminding me of an F1 esports race, because all the leaders are so closely matched. They're all on a massive train, and I'm doing the Jarno Opmeer or Danny Moreno strategy of trying to cut through them on softs. So here we go. That's Lewis Hamilton, second last car in the train, and is not having the end or the fairy tale finish to his career like he would probably hope. Down in P8 at the moment. The Red Bulls having a stranglehold on this race. Max Verstappen leads by about 4 seconds or so over Alexander Albon, who got pole. And Albon is doing an amazing job of keeping that pack of like 7 cars at bay for Max to clear off and win this race. But yeah, back to us. We're on the softs now. This is our fastest lap attempt of the Grand Prix. We're going to try and cut the gap to the race leaders as quickly as we humanly can. The quicker we can get to them, the better it is for our race, because as this stint wears on, our effectiveness to cut through the train is going to be diminished. quite rapidly the deeper we get into this race. You saw how much I was struggling to get through a two-man train of Ocon and Stroll. But things are different now. We have the advantage. We have so much more grip and mechanical grip than those in the middle sector that will be so close to them that, you know, come the start-finish straight, we'll be able to overtake them. That's at least the aim. So here we go. We're probably within a lap of being able to overtake them, or at least get DRS. We're just hovering outside of a second, but we cut on to lap 24, and we are now there. 5/10 is the gap to Pierre Gasly. So here we go. Let's see if we can cut through this traffic. Thankfully, we don't have a Renault in this pack of cars. The Renault is head and shoulders the fastest car in a straight line, so we don't have to deal with them, thankfully. But what can we do up against an AlphaTauri on hard compound tyres in the slipstream and DRS of Pierre Gasly? We're going to dive bomb him down into turn 1, and I've gone in a little bit too deep there. You can see locking up the inside front tyre. That was a nervous overtake, I won't lie. I went in and committed extra deep into the braking zone because I was worried about being caught behind them, so I overreached on that one. But on Hamilton, we won't make the same mistake. Up the inside, and that is P7 for us. Interestingly, that we can overtake the best car in the field with ease. But that is the beauty of a soft compound tyre, which is, you know, probably a second and a half faster per lap than those around us. Although that delta will be diminishing greatly the further we get into this race. But we're in P7 crucially, and you know, we've got a really good chance of getting P2 in this race because this train extends all the way to Alexander Albon. We just need to cut through this train effectively and make sure we don't lose too much time squabbling in the process. So it's all about ERS management. Fuel is going to be absolutely fine for us. We underfueled the car by about 2 or 3 laps, and we've already recovered to be in the green. Up the inside of Sainz into turn 4, and that is P6 for the taking. That was a lunge and a half. My wheel disconnected there temporarily as I did some happy weaves. But there we go. We're through. And that's probably the overtake of the race, I've got to say. That was absolutely phenomenal. It's not a heavy braking zone, but we were still able to outbrake Sainz by an absolute mile. That is the difference between the soft and the hard. Here we go. Next cab off the rank, Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. What can we do? He's going slightly defensive. He's making himself even weaker because he was taking away the slipstream of his teammate ahead, and we overtake it round the outside at turns 1 and 2, and we are now in the top 5. I think whatever happens now, I can die happy knowing that I've made a pretty successful comeback in this race. Anything more from here, I think, is a bonus. But I think a podium is well and truly on the cards. There's still 8 laps to go. 8 laps. Russell, what are you saying? Nothing. You got me. I'm not saying anything either. I'm speechless. I've just caught him napping there, and we're now up in the 4th place. Here's Bottas trying to put the pressure on Albon. He is now massively under threat because I'm the next car behind him. Meanwhile, that was Max Verstappen leading up in front. This is Mick Schumacher getting out of the way, and this could prove to be beneficial to us in just a few seconds' time because Bottas might have eyes on him and not on us. Up the inside we go, and that's a really risky overtake at turn 1. He definitely did not see me there until the last second. But lads, we are now on the podium in this Brazilian Grand Prix. We started in 14th place, or we qualified in 14th place, and we are really showcasing our pace now. Here's the replay of the overtake. I need to have a breath because I think I might pass out in a second, but this is the move up the inside of Bottas. You can see I've already got along, like past his car. Obviously I caught him by surprise. He's turned across me, which makes the move look a little bit more questionable on my side. But I got the move done. I got past him. He just turned in, didn't see me obviously, and that was it. Job done. We can move on. I think that's a fair move. Very aggressive, but fair. I have been quite aggressive. The Bottas one and then the Kvyat one at the start of the race have been my most aggressive moves of the race so far. This is the last race of the season. We're not risking a championship or anything. So I can afford to be a little bit more daring than what I would otherwise be. But now we have a straight shot of second place, of overtaking a Red Bull in this Brazilian Grand Prix. We could even have a go at Max Verstappen if the tyre life is there, but I'm not so sure about that. There's a big gap to him in front. But anyway, we're having a rich and overtake. Albon going defensive down into turn 4. We go round the outside this time, and we make the move. We are now in second place in this Brazilian Grand Prix. This has been one of the comebacks of the season. Oh, I can't say that. I can't say that. I honestly can't say that. We went from, what, last to first? Last episode? No, this is not... I don't know. I don't know. This feels very, very satisfying because we haven't had the all-out pace that we did in Mexico. We haven't had everything go our way. We were stuck behind Stroll and Ocon for the first third of the race. If we were able to get past those guys earlier and get onto that lead train and stay there for the whole of the first stint, then a win could very well have been possible in this Grand Prix. But meanwhile, there's Lewis Hamilton trying to fend off Pierre Gasly in this race. Danny Kvyat retires, meanwhile, just outside the points. So that is unfortunate for him. And I think while all that was happening, Hamilton got overtaken, or is about to be overtaken by Pierre Gasly, but that won't be shown on replay as we just negotiate our way past a couple of lap cars. But yeah, guys, that was the race. As soon as we got into P2, Max just upped his pace even further, just to crush my hopes of winning the race. But to be honest, I'm not unhappy with this performance. P2 is a phenomenal result in this race, given where we started. There's Lewis Hamilton. He's going to be finishing in P6 today. This is the last lap of his Formula 1 career. And yeah, this isn't the end to his season, his career that he would have wanted. Max Verstappen, though, ends in style, winning his championship winning season. The last race is his. And for Lewis Hamilton, at this very corner, all those years ago, he secured his first World Drivers' title. No such magic here today in his last appearance at Sao Paulo. But for us, it's P14 to P2.
We've had a very strong season this year, very strong indeed. Well done, and thank you on behalf of the team for a fantastic effort.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Driver of the day. Here comes Lewis Hamilton.
Thank you so much, guys.
Well done, mate. It's the final one. Not the result we wanted. It was great to have the team back together, all as one.
What a year, lads. You all deserved it. Such a great effort from you all. Thank you so much for all the hard work, both here and back in the factory. Really appreciate you all.
Yeah, thanks, Lewis. Yeah, it's been an awesome season. Struggling through the year, but yeah, we made it out the other side. And Lewis, if you fancy giving us a big send-off, then onto the pit straight for the usual celebrations.
I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's here, back home. And I got to say, this one's for the fans.
And there he goes. Lewis Hamilton's last race in Formula 1. Like I said, this was a very special corner for him in his career, and it's only fitting that he sends it off there. Max Verstappen winning the championship. He won it in the last episode, but he's just adding to the celebrations. He is well and truly, he already is a star of today, but certainly a dominant force to be reckoned with in the future of not only real F1, but this career mode series as well. For however many seasons it will continue to be. F1 has got a big hole to fill now with Lewis Hamilton's departure. That could leave Max very lonely at the top for the years to come. But there we go. That has been this season of Career Mode, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Haven't uploaded as often as previous seasons, and I can only apologize about that. But I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I still really enjoy Career Mode. But sometimes, you know, real life gets in the way. P2, 5 seconds shy of Max Verstappen. Like I said, if things had really gone our way today, I think we probably could have won this race too. Callum Ilott not having a good day, 15th place, caught up in the traffic. Fast car, fast driver, just circumstances not going his way. For us, though, we got 6th in the driver's standings. We overtook Danny Kvyat, who DNF'd today, but Ricardo, who didn't have a great result either. And yeah, it's a big jump in the driver's standings. A really solid recovery after the start of the season where we were the slowest car, or pretty much alongside Williams, only just faster than them at the start of the season. To recover and finish in P7 in the standings with 106 championship points against our name is no mean feat. That was quite the comeback, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this season. Bit of a return to glory in a way. Hopefully I did you guys proud. We did get a couple of wins in the end, so the second half of the season was certainly a good one. We sign off the career of Lewis Hamilton, and I hope that this isn't the last time that we see him in a career mode. Like I said, hopefully we'll see him for many more years to come. But that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Enjoy your retirement, Lewis. You've earned it.